When I turned 38, I decided to start dating again after 3 years of being single. I hadn't dated anyone in 18 years and I didn't really know where to start, so I just jumped on the apps. First I tried Bumble because it seemed the most serious, but for some reason I just wasn't being shown any men my age in my area. And I'm not talking matches, I mean on the whole app I'd be shown 6 or 7 men. So then I tried Hinge and then I tried Tinder, and it was exactly the same story on both of them as well. I'd set a nice wide age range preference of 38 to 50, and I lived within 20 minutes of 2 big cities. Also, we know the ratio of men to women on these apps is like 3 to 1. So where were all the single men my age? It took me an embarrassingly long time to realize. It wasn't that there weren't single men my age in my area. It's just the single men my age in my area didn't want to date anyone their own age.
Well, gentlemen. It turns out that men don't want to date these women that are literally 40 years of age and are single. Why? Well, because they are massive liabilities, they have a lot of mileage, and they come with a lot of problems. Now, this one in particular says that she hasn't gone on a single date in 18 years, implying that at 20 she broke up her probably first relationship and hasn't touched a man in 18 years. Do you believe that, guys? She has been celibate for 18 years, from 20 to 38. And now, out of the blue, she decides, you know what? I think I need a man. Should I postpone it till my 60s? You know what? I'm gonna do it right now. It's alright. Do you believe that, guys? Well, if you do, I know. But let's get in touch. I can scam you about anything and get your money alright. But gentlemen, let's finish this TikTok and then we'll move along.
They'd set their age range preference to significantly younger, so I just wasn't being shown their profiles. So I did what any red-blooded woman would do, and I changed my age preference range as well. And funnily enough, I then started getting matches galore. Okay, so the 40 to 50-year-olds didn't want to date me. Turns out the 30-year-olds definitely did.
Alright, watch out, gentlemen. There's a cougar out there that is definitely just dating you because of what she's interested to get from you. She's not in it for the family. She's not in it for your personality. Forget all of that. But gentlemen, do you like this woman? Well, we have more of her. No, Hidan, I don't want to see her ever again. Well, gentlemen, I have already prepared the video. So we're going to have a look, but before that, please, if you enjoy this content, like and subscribe so we can fight the YouTube algorithm. We have a few TikToks lined up dealing with women being single. And then we have an article story in which women rate what is most important for them. Is it D size, height, face, or body? We'll take a look at that as well. So let's get started, gentlemen.
13 reasons that I love being child-free. 1, I'm a girl who needs her sleep, and I love getting 8 hours uninterrupted sleep every single night. 2, hear that? Yeah, it's quiet. My house is peaceful and quiet all the time. 3, I never have to share or hide my snacks. 4, if I wanted to move to a different part of the country or an entirely different country, I could do that whenever I wanted. No worries.
Yeah, so she is extremely selfish and only thinks about herself and has the I syndrome, me, myself, and I. And is just so annoying and bitter and resentful. And there's no surprise, because when we saw her in the first video, oh, I'm single at 38, oh, haven't touched a man in all these years, yeah, sure. He immediately knew that she was a pain in the ass, right? They always come with this attitude, gentlemen, when they are above 30. And this woman is close to 40, so there's that. Also, I hate sleeping, alright? Maybe it's because I'm part of the Fiend gang, you know, you have a vampire that never sleeps, you have some dude in a, you know, in a spaceship out there somewhere, probably doesn't sleep long as well. Then you have an immortal mummy. It's just sleeping is so boring, guys. It's so boring. Now, don't get me wrong, I like feeling rested, but I don't like sleeping, right? Does that make sense? In the same way that some lunatics out there don't like tomatoes, but they like ketchup. So it's the same thing. I just hate sleeping. It's so boring. It's the equivalent of being in a coma. Why would I like that? Why would I enjoy that? Maybe if I had the weirdest, most insane dreams, maybe then I would like sleeping. But a lot of the nights I don't. I just go to a coma for 6 hours. I don't like that. I don't know how people can find it enjoying to sleep. But anyway, I'll never get it.
No worrying about schools. 5, my work only has to support me. If I want to make a change, I can do that. I don't have people relying on me for my income. 6, if I put something down, I don't have to worry about it still being there when I come back to it. Everything stays where it's supposed to be in my house. 7, if I wanted to go on holiday last minute, I can do that. I don't have to worry about school or childcare. 8, I don't have to go through pregnancy. 9, I don't have to go through childbirth. 10. Disposable income. 11.
Yeah, so it all has to do with I want more for myself, more time for myself, get to do whatever I want with my time. And the second thing it has to do with is I don't like anything that I already possess being taken away from me. So I don't want to invest anything in anyone. Am I the only one, guys, that finds that a massive red flag? The human relationships are built upon, just general interests. In the worst case scenario. In the worst case scenario, it's two a-holes that find a common interest. But in the better relationships, interpersonal relationships, you have people giving to each other without expecting to receive back. When you invite your best friend to a $5 beer, you don't write a note, like, oh, you have to give me this money back, you bastard. No, you just do because you like him. That's it, guys. And these type of women, again, they are bad friends. They are bad partners, they will make for bad parents, and they are bad people, they are selfish people, they are parasites. And of course, she has the, 27 tattoos on her arms. Just massive red flag.
I don't have to take a kid with me everywhere I go. 12. I have control over my own time and resources. I don't have to do things that I don't want to do. For example, after school kids clubs. 13. If I'm tired or run down or feeling a little bit low, I don't have to worry about caring for anyone else. I can focus on my own self-care and my own recovery.
Well, how do you feel about that, guys? She's a serpent, she is. I have snakes, guys. I live in the desert. I have thousands of snakes. None of them as poisonous as this woman. But now, let's move on to another TikTok, guys. And let's see what this woman has to say about the male loneliness epidemic.
Maybe the male loneliness epidemic should smile more. Maybe the male loneliness epidemic should try volunteering. Ooh, or a cooking class? I think the male loneliness epidemic is going to find somebody when they least expect it. Do you think the male loneliness epidemic has ever tried dating apps? I have a friend who met somebody that way. They should try dating apps. Try dating apps. The male loneliness epidemic is alone because they clearly haven't worked on themselves. They don't love themselves enough. That's why they're still single. The male loneliness epidemic does not love themselves enough, and they're never going to find somebody until they love themselves. Maybe the male loneliness epidemic.
Yeah, so this woman is making satire out of the advice that women usually get by interchanging the words women with men, But there's one thing though, no man ever has said the words, oh, as a woman, you don't get dating options because you don't love yourself enough. All right, I can guarantee you already no man has ever said that. If anything, women love themselves too much, right? You have the last serpent that we covered. She only loves herself. She loves herself more than anything. She will sacrifice her whole family on the altar just so she can be better if she could, right? She'll just unalive anyone just to benefit herself in a slight manner. So women love themselves enough already, all right? Nobody's out there actually thinking that women need to love themselves more. But let's continue, guys.
Epidemic should try taking a new profile photo. Ooh, or run club? I mean, the male loneliness epidemic really needs to take a hard look at itself. What is the common denominator in all of the male loneliness epidemic's failed relationships? The male loneliness epidemic. I mean, how is the male loneliness epidemic even trying to meet someone? They're never going to meet anyone in their living room. The male loneliness epidemic is trying too hard and they're coming across as desperate. They're never going to find anybody that way. The male loneliness epidemic needs to put themselves out there. That's why they're not finding anybody. They're not putting themselves out there. The male loneliness epidemic really needs to be trying harder. It's not getting any younger.
Well, the difference, madam, between the men and women is that you have 20 to 30 times more options. In some cases, 40 to 50. It really is exponential. And it's crazy, all right? So, hey, that's one difference. I don't know, guys. Do you think that if men had the options that women have, we would have the male loneliness epidemic? I really don't think so. I think that if you give the average man the kind of options this woman has as a 5 out of 10 on her best day, and on the best day of her life, the average man will pull it off. The average man will actually find a relationship to be in. It's women who are not able to do that. And then again, you have women mostly leaving relationships. You have women mostly filing for divorce. You have women mostly giving up. It's just so many things. It's so many aspects in which women, they have the benefits, they have the advantages, and they still manage to screw it up. So you see, madam, you can't really compare women being single at 30 and an epidemic of single women over 30 with the male loneliness epidemic, because the problem is different. So I hope you get that at some point. But now, gentlemen, let's move on to our last TikTok for today, which is this woman, again, talking about why she's single.
If you are chronically single and wondering when is it going to be my turn, if you are one Hinge most compatible suggestion from deleting dating apps forever, if you are one engagement post away from Googling 10 steps to become a nun, if you are one baby announcement away from thinking like, wow, dating is so bad, I hope in my next life I am reincarnated into a dog, I have something that might make you feel like this much better. This much better, at least. My comfort TV show, the one I've watched like 8 times through, is How I Met Your Mother. I've always loved the message, thought it was a very cute show. But recently, I started rewatching it and I was like, wait a freaking minute. I'm not going to give any like spoilers away if you haven't seen the show, but much the concept of the show is this main guy, his name is Ted, and he's sitting down with his kids and he's telling them how he met their mother. The guy proceeds to walk his kids through literally 10 years of different stories that lead to him meeting their mother. And when you look at the stories individually itself, you're like, okay, well, how does this lead to you meeting this person? But the way he tells the story is it literally all connects. Like, this had to happen for this to happen. This had to happen for that to happen. It really is such a good message, because there's so many times in the show where like, he's like, I want to settle down. I want to meet my person. Certain situations, he's like forcing it with these girls and it's not working for, you know, a different reason. It really goes to show every little thing we do in our life, every little decision we make is leading us to exactly where we are meant.
Oh no, please don't say it. So we all knew the direction in which this was going, but she finally said it, guys. And it's at this point that I'm glad I didn't revive Ampu, because he will be dead again. All right, I'm glad he's passed out on this one. This is the most horrible advice I've ever heard. Well, you see, everything, you know, in the same way that Ted had to go through a decade of being alone and bad dating scenarios to find his wife. In the same way, it's all right that I'm getting pumped by 15 chads. It's all right that I have been doing nothing but losing on the dating front for over a decade. It's all right that I'm a ruin of a person, because you see, those were necessary steps for me to find my Prince Charming and the perfect husband. It's horrible. It's stupid.
Meant to be. If I am a believer in anything, it is that everything happens for a reason. You have to go on those bad Hinge dates. That guy who you were so sure was the one but ended up breaking your heart in the end, it had to happen. Every choice I make and every person I meet is guiding me to where I need to be, and I truly, truly believe that. I know single Sundays can make us a little bit down bad, but starting tomorrow, Monday, season 1, episode 1, How I Met Your Father. Let's go.
Oh, hell no. This is terrible, guys, and I see a propensity in women of getting scammed or believing in stupid things all throughout. I mean, you see why TikTok is such a big influence on these women, right? And you don't see that with men. Men don't watch How I Met Your Mother and try to rationalize how that one ex that totally tore their life apart was somehow a good thing, or how their wife who divorced them and got the 2 kids was somehow a necessary step in them finding the right woman. So there's a propensity for women to, I know, believe in this stupid stuff, which all these series, guys, like How I Met Your Mother or Friends and all that, they may be funny, but I dislike them at a core level because they are degenerate. All right, you should take them as something funny, and that's it. You know, like Family Guy, it's funny, but you can't take it at a deeper level because you know it's just these shows are degenerate. All right, you have a lot of people constantly hooking up, and they interchange like 27 partners. That's not how people are supposed to be. All right, if you want something to guide your life, go read the Bible, go read some philosophy books, go and take your material from something that's actually deeper and better and more healthier. Don't take your moral compass from a freaking show, How I Met Your Mother, where you have one person sleeping around with 7,000 women. How in your sane mind will you actually take life advice from a show that's meant to be humoristic? I really don't get that, guys. But you see these women, they'll try to find anything, guys. They'll try to stick to anything that makes them rationalize why they are so single and so desperate and so alone. It's really ridiculous. But now, gentlemen, let's move on to article story. as promised. And I've actually heard that the end of How I Met Your Mother is absolutely terrible. I haven't watched it. But is that the case, gentlemen? You let me know. I've heard that it's absolutely terrible. And it's a waste of time to go through Ted's life knowing what the ending will be. But now, women, which of these factors do you find most important in physical attraction to men? Assuming good posture, hygiene, etc. So assuming the man is average, 1, face, 2, height, 3, body, and 4, D size. Well, as we all know, gentlemen, all the viewers of this channel just have massive Ds, you know, just huge. So in that aspect, we are already good. Let's find about the others. And how would you personally rate this? My ranking will be the most important, guys, height. Now, if you would ask me just a year ago, I would have said face. But with time, I've come to think that height is even more important. Why? Well, because I've seen a lot of men who have really good faces, but they are not tall. Yeah? So you will have a man with a face 8 out of 10, but just because he's slightly shorter, he will get no attention. And I've seen men who are above average height get a lot of interest from women while having the most average face, right? So we will rate it height in the first place, second face, third body, meaning muscles and like a wide, you know, wide shoulders and that, and 4, D size. So let's read some of the comments. I have a woman here saying the first is face, second body, third height. I doubt that she's gonna put it that way beneath, and 4, D size. 1 and 3 don't care, within average range. Another one says face, D size, second. I like the honesty of this one. 3 body and 4 height. Attraction to my partner's face is certainly the most important for me. That doesn't mean he has to be the most conventionally attractive man either. It just means that when he smiles at me, I feel that melty feeling and want to kiss him. That's what makes me fall in love with someone. D size, second, because S3 compatibility is absolutely key to a lasting relationship. It's easy to give up on a relationship and look elsewhere when you aren't satisfied physically. Well, you could be satisfied with an average D size, you know, but hey, I mean, there's nothing wrong if you want a massive schlong. But what I'm saying is it doesn't have to deal with S3 compatibility. But I do want to point out that while D size is important, that doesn't mean it needs to be big. Alright, she specified. It just has to be the right size for my body. Bigger is not always better. I don't know why people still fall for that lie. Last two, height and body, don't really matter to me that much. We can go to the gym together, and I'm short, so I'm ambivalent to that. Wow, guys, we have actually a short woman that doesn't expect to be with a man who is 6'5". That's actually crazy. Another one here says, so basically what we've learned is that women like all kinds of different things and you can't tell. No, I can actually tell, because regardless of how they interchange these 4 things, they are still attracted to a man that's taller than them, right? You don't find many women running around who will date shorter men. So no, I do know women enough, right? Don't try to act like, oh, you see, there are no rules, there are no rules. No. The rules clearly indicate that women go for taller men, that women will dismiss men solely based on their height, and that women dismiss most people on Tinder, right? The statistics are all there. Women are quite easy to figure out that aspect. Face, body, D size, height. Although without being witty, intelligent, or charismatic, none of these will seal the deal. Editing to add D size doesn't mean I require something big. Alright, so there you go again, guys. For me personally, it's first height, second face, body, and lastly D size. Alright, so there you have women's opinions, guys. And I'll always take them with a grain of salt, because what women say doesn't always match what they do. Like, for example, if you will put number 5, character or personality, I can guarantee you guys, all of these women will be saying, oh, the most important thing for me is their personality, I cannot go without it. When in reality, you know, when you look at how they date, the type of men they choose, the men they chase, and the men they dismiss, personality will be last on the list, right? But it was interesting to read this through. But gentlemen, let me know what you think about these. Please, again, like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content and you want to push it to more men. If you want more desert, you can find me on Patreon, links down below. And guys, I hope that you have a nice day ahead. I'll see you on the next one.